Have you ever felt a subtle whisper in your mind, an urge to see the world, to explore one more city, to walk new streets lined with foreign lights and scents? For many people in their 70s and beyond, that whisper can become a roaring desire. After all, isn't this what retirement is for? The freedom to travel without obligations? But beneath the romantic imagery of golden sunsets and postcard beaches lies a deeper, often unspoken truth, one that too many seniors discover only when it's too late. Travel after 70 isn't always the life-affirming adventure we imagine. In fact, it can carry risks that few anticipate and even fewer prepare for. Most people associate travel with vitality, freedom, and discovery. But when you're in your 70s, 80s, or beyond, those same travel elements, freedom, spontaneity, unpredictability, can become steep challenges. What was once an invigorating escape can turn into a gauntlet of fatigue, medical complications, and logistical stress. Not because the world has changed, but because the body and mind that once thrived on adrenaline and novelty have slowed in ways that cannot be reversed. It starts with the body. We often underestimate just how much physical energy travel demands. Even something as simple as walking through a busy airport, waiting in long security lines, or handling luggage can push aging bodies to their limit. Where younger travelers may experience a brief discomfort or soreness, seniors often face lasting strain. Muscle recovery slows down significantly with age. What feels like a minor ache at the start of a trip can turn into a painful limitation by the time the bags are unpacked. But even more concerning than fatigue is the constant threat of sudden health issues. As the years pass, the body becomes less predictable. Conditions that are stable at home can be thrown off balance by a change in diet, a shift in altitude, or even a disrupted sleep schedule. Hypertension, heart arrhythmias, respiratory flare-ups, these aren't rare exceptions. They're real possibilities. The truth is, when you're over 70, your body's often walking a tightrope between stability and crisis. And if a health emergency happens while abroad, the stakes are far higher. Unlike home, where your physician is just a call away and medical history is easily accessible, being in another country introduces language barriers, unfamiliar health systems, and delays in treatment. Even a minor infection or injury can escalate without the right support. Emergency evacuations, hospital stays, and foreign medication protocols, all of these become unpredictable challenges that can jeopardize a trip, your health, and even your life savings. Speaking of finances, the hidden costs of travel after 70 are another trap that catches many by surprise. Seniors often believe their insurance covers them everywhere, but many standard health plans don't extend overseas. Suddenly, the cost of a brief hospital visit or an urgent procedure can climb into the thousands. Worse still, some treatments may need to be paid up front, requiring travelers to navigate unfamiliar systems under stress and illness. And if a trip needs to be canceled due to an emergency, before or during, the lack of proper insurance can turn a few $1,000s into a complete loss. Even those who manage to avoid medical issues face a different kind of strain: exhaustion, the kind that doesn't fade after a nap or a night's rest. Traveling disrupts routine: sleep, meals, medications, bathroom access, hydration. All the tiny habits that support senior health are thrown off balance. Long flights cause swelling and stiffness. Jet lag lasts longer. Dehydration creeps in unnoticed. Meals served on the go rarely match dietary needs. It's not unusual for seniors to return from vacation feeling worse than when they left, nursing aches, fatigue, or even illnesses they picked up along the way. Then there's the immune system. As we age, it loses the sharpness it once had. While a younger traveler might catch a cold and recover in 2 days, a senior might develop complications that linger for weeks. Planes, airports, hotel lobbies, and tourist buses all are breeding grounds for bacteria and viruses. Surfaces may appear clean, but they're touched by thousands of people every day. And your body, already slower to recover, may be facing germs it has never encountered before. Food is another hidden danger. Tasting exotic dishes is part of the thrill of travel, but for seniors, a new spice or ingredient can trigger digestive issues. Water quality varies widely by region, and while locals may be accustomed to certain bacteria in their water, your gut may not be. A simple salad washed with tap water, a glass of ice from a questionable source, or undercooked meat can easily lead to foodborne illnesses. In younger years, these incidents might result in a few unpleasant hours. But after 70, they can mean dehydration, hospitalization, and weeks of recovery. Mobility also becomes a serious concern. Many tourist destinations aren't designed with seniors in mind. Cobblestone streets, steep stairs, uneven sidewalks, or long walks between transit points can be daunting. What was once considered part of the adventure now becomes a calculated risk. Every step carries weight, literally and metaphorically, and the consequences of a misstep are severe. Falls are among the leading causes of serious injury for seniors. A broken hip or wrist in a foreign country doesn't just end the trip, it can alter the course of your independence for months, even years. Even when there are no acute injuries or illnesses, there's often a lingering sense of discomfort, that nagging feeling of being out of sync, of trying to keep up with a world that moves too fast. Sightseeing schedules, time zone changes, language barriers, cultural differences, these require mental sharpness and flexibility. But cognitive stamina, like physical stamina, changes with age. Simple decisions feel harder. Finding your hotel room, understanding the train map, converting currency, dealing with a missed flight, these small stressors compound quickly. And while the spirit may be willing, the mind can become overwhelmed. Some seniors describe a kind of travel-induced mental fog. The brain struggles to adjust to constant new stimuli. Patterns are disrupted, sleep is light, meals are irregular. Even if no crisis occurs, the entire trip can feel more like survival than enjoyment. Yet this isn't to say that seniors shouldn't travel at all. Far from it. The world still holds magic, wonder, and learning. But the key difference lies in the approach. Travel after 70 demands preparation, caution, and realism. It should never be approached with the same carefree attitude of youth. It requires a deeper understanding of your body's limits, your medical needs, and the environments you'll be navigating. Because the risks are not hypothetical, they are happening to seniors every day, turning dream vacations into cautionary tales. And these risks don't just touch health or money, they touch dignity, confidence, independence. What happens when someone who prided themselves on being sharp and capable ends up lost in a train station, confused, exhausted, and alone? What happens when a short trip ends in a hospital bed far from home? These are not exaggerations. They are the reality of travel after a certain age if taken lightly. That's why every senior traveler should think not just about where they want to go, but why. What is the purpose of the trip? Is it for joy? For peace? For reconnection? Or is it out of obligation or habit? And if the journey brings more stress than serenity, is it worth the cost? Even in retirement, the most valuable asset we have is not time. It's quality of time. Time spent in comfort, in good health, with clarity and peace of mind. If travel contributes to that, wonderful. But if it threatens it, perhaps the greatest journey is the one taken within, toward wisdom, self-respect, and careful choices. Choosing destinations with good infrastructure, clear sidewalks, elevators, and access ramps is essential. Avoiding areas with steep hills, cobblestones, or uneven terrain can make a world of difference. It's also wise to bring supportive footwear designed for comfort and stability. Shoes with non-slip soles and good arch support help reduce the chances of slipping or tripping. For those with known balance issues, using a cane or walker is not a sign of weakness. It's a practical tool for maintaining independence and avoiding injury. Beyond the environment, it's important to build a travel routine that prioritizes safety. That means not rushing from one activity to another and always taking time to rest. Avoid moving around in poorly lit areas, especially at night, and don't hesitate to ask for assistance when navigating unfamiliar or crowded spaces. Hotels and tour services often have staff ready to help with luggage or provide information about safer routes. Staying on the ground floor whenever possible can also minimize the need to climb stairs or rely on elevators that may be out of service. The unfortunate truth is that falls account for a significant percentage of emergency medical cases involving older travelers. Recovery from fractures or sprains takes longer after 70, and some injuries may never fully heal. Even when the fall isn't severe, the emotional impact of a fall can cause anxiety and a loss of confidence, making the rest of the trip feel stressful or unsafe. Preventing these injuries isn't just about physical health, it's also about protecting mental well-being. Now, as serious as falls and health risks may be, there's one more danger that most seniors overlook entirely. It's not physical, and it doesn't show up on any medical test, but its consequences can be just as damaging. It's the hidden psychological and emotional toll of travel at an advanced age. Many seniors expect travel to lift their spirits, bring joy, or rekindle a sense of adventure. And while it can offer those things under the right circumstances, it often does the opposite when expectations clash with reality. The noise, the crowds, the stress of navigating unfamiliar systems, all of these can heighten anxiety. Add to that the feeling of being far from home, without your usual comforts and routines, and the result can be overwhelming. For older adults who struggle with memory, cognitive clarity, or emotional regulation, the fast pace of travel can amplify feelings of confusion, irritability, or even depression. Jet lag, dehydration, and sleep loss don't just affect the body, they fog the mind. Simple decisions like ordering from a menu or figuring out local currency become frustrating. What used to be second nature now feels like a mental obstacle course. For someone over 70, this can be a harsh and unexpected blow to self-confidence. Worse still, moments of disorientation in a foreign country can lead to panic or make seniors vulnerable to being taken advantage of. Scammers and pickpockets often target tourists, and elderly travelers can be especially easy marks. Losing a wallet, passport, or phone while abroad is difficult at any age, but for an older adult, it can create a chain reaction of stress and helplessness. Suddenly, you're not just dealing with a lost item, you're dealing with a loss of control, safety, and certainty. Even within group tours, older travelers may feel isolated or left behind if they can't keep up. That sense of being the slowest or needing constant help can take a toll on dignity and self-esteem. Some seniors try to hide how they're feeling, afraid of being seen as a burden. But suppressing discomfort only makes things worse, leading to exhaustion, burnout, or worse, serious health consequences from pushing too hard. There's also the emotional impact of leaving behind routine, familiar faces, and a sense of stability. For some, travel can trigger feelings of homesickness or sadness, especially if the trip includes locations tied to memories of loved ones who've passed. A hotel room far from home can feel incredibly lonely. And unlike in younger years when bouncing back emotionally was easier, these low points can linger longer in older age. So what can be done? Before any trip, seniors need to ask themselves not just, am I physically able to do this? But also, am I emotionally prepared? Understanding your own tolerance for stress, change, and discomfort is crucial. If those limits are low, there's no shame in modifying the travel plan. Choosing shorter trips, staying in familiar regions, or traveling with a trusted companion can help ease the emotional strain. Creating structure during the trip is also helpful. Stick to regular meal times, get enough sleep, keep familiar routines like morning walks or reading time. These small anchors can prevent the overwhelming feeling of losing yourself in a new place. Staying connected with people back home is equally important. A simple phone call, video chat, or message exchange can help ground the traveler and provide emotional support. It's also comforting to know that someone is checking in on you and that you're not navigating the experience alone. The bottom line is this: the mind needs just as much care and attention as the body, especially when traveling at an older age. Ignoring the emotional cost can turn a planned adventure into a quiet struggle. one that lingers long after the trip ends. And now we come to the final point, one that few people talk about, but it's among the most damaging: the financial cost of travel after 70. At this age, many seniors are living on fixed incomes. Retirement savings, pensions, or Social Security provide a set monthly amount, and for most, there's not a lot of room for financial surprises. But travel, even when carefully budgeted, has a way of costing more than expected. Emergencies, cancellations, fees, and unexpected expenses can quickly snowball. One of the most common pitfalls is underestimating the real cost of cheap travel. Budget airlines may have hidden fees. Discounted hotels may lack elevators or basic amenities. That all-inclusive cruise might not include medical services, internet, or tips. And suddenly you're shelling out hundreds more than planned. Currency exchange rates, foreign transaction fees, and local taxes can also catch travelers off guard. Then there are the small daily expenses that add up fast: bottled water, snacks, taxis, entrance tickets. When every dollar matters, even minor surprises can cause stress. Seniors who try to avoid these costs by skipping travel insurance or choosing the lowest cost options often end up paying more in the long run, especially when health or mobility issues enter the picture. But beyond the unexpected expenses, there's another layer to the financial risk: scams targeting older tourists. Seniors may be more trusting or less tech-savvy, making them prime targets for deceptive tactics. Fake travel agents, dishonest taxi drivers, or misleading online bookings can wipe out funds before a trip even begins. In the worst cases, entire vacations are canceled or ruined due to fraud. Another overlooked factor is the cost of recovery. If a trip ends in injury or illness, the financial burden doesn't stop when you return home. Follow-up treatments, medications, physical therapy, all of it comes out of your pocket. And if the experience left emotional or psychological wounds, therapy or counseling may be necessary. These costs weren't part of the original travel plan, but they often show up when it's too late to back out. To protect against this, seniors need to plan for the unexpected. That means overestimating costs rather than underestimating them. Building a buffer into the budget, enough to cover at least one major emergency, is wise. It's also crucial to read the fine print on any booking, whether it's a hotel, flight, or tour. Understand cancellation policies, what's covered and what isn't, and always verify the legitimacy of companies before handing over payment information. If managing these details feels overwhelming, consider asking a trusted family member or financial advisor to help review plans. There's no shame in getting assistance. In fact, doing so can prevent thousands of dollars in losses and ensure the trip is as smooth as possible. Because when it comes to travel after 70, peace of mind is priceless. So is traveling after 70 a mistake? Not necessarily. Travel can still be beautiful, meaningful, even life-changing at any age. But it must be approached with honesty, realism, and above all, preparation. The truth is, what once was a spontaneous adventure now requires careful planning, caution, and a deep understanding of your own limits. It's no longer just about where you want to go, but how safely, comfortably, and meaningfully you can get there. We must let go of the pressure to do it all just because we see others doing it on social media or because society tells us that retirement is our last chance to live it up. The idea that every year over 70 should be spent checking off bucket list items is not only unrealistic, it's dangerous. Instead, it's time for a new approach, one rooted in self-respect, in listening to the body, in recognizing the emotional toll, the financial risk, and the physical vulnerabilities that come with age, not as a weakness, but as reality. Because when you travel in alignment with who you are today, not who you were 30 years ago, you open the door to a deeper kind of fulfillment, one that doesn't require boarding a plane or crossing a border. Sometimes peace, beauty, and joy can be found right at home, in a garden, in a local museum, in a visit from a friend, in the laughter of your grandchildren. And if you do decide to travel, let it be because it truly serves you, not because you feel pressured to keep up with anyone else's pace. Remember, growing older doesn't mean giving up experiences. It just means choosing them with more care, more wisdom, and more intention. If this message resonated with you, if it made you think, reflect, or even reconsider, then don't let it end here. We're building a space where age is honored, where real conversations happen, and where your journey continues with strength and awareness. Subscribe to the channel to stay connected, learn more, and be part of a community that values not just years, but the wisdom they bring. Because the road ahead may be different, but it can still be deeply meaningful.